Hello and welcome to another video from Morocco. This one is the Agadir Croc Park, and this one was my favourite bit of the holiday. Did I get food poisoning and was ill for 5 of the 7 days I went? Yes, but it's still a high bar. Croc Park is what it says on the tin. It's a park full of 300 crocodiles. All the crocodiles you'll see in this video are Nile crocodiles, and these are one of the biggest types of crocodile in the world. Despite being named Nile crocodiles, these guys can actually be found pretty much throughout all of Africa, and they're huge. There actually was a Nile crocodile called Gustav who was responsible for eating about 300 people. I think that's the most fatalities associated with an animal that I've ever heard of. Sorry, I just find it very easily to get sidetracked when talking about crocodiles. Back to Croc Park. Croc Park isn't just crocodiles in the end, even though that's what gets people through the door. This is actually full of loads of different gardens. It's got monkeys and an amazing desert experience in it. As you can see in some of these videos here, they had absolutely amazing gardens with massive lily pads and papyrus everywhere. Also, if you book through the hotel, you're normally on a guided tour, which is really good because you get to see the crocodiles feeding, which I'll show later in the video. They had an authentic desert experience. Well, it wasn't North African desert because iguanas aren't actually native to Africa. They're from Mexico and Central America area, but it's close enough. It doesn't need me commenting on it. They had loads of amazing cacti here. It wasn't just the animals on show. They had massive agave flowers and just towering cactus everywhere. My favourite thing about this area is that the iguanas were free range. Look at this one bobbing his head at me. It was also really interactive, this area, with a rope bridge and other interactive bits. I think if you had children here, this would be great for them. What was really cool is the kind of behind the scenes tour that they did for us. You go into the actual egg hatchery part of Croc Park. With 300 odd crocodiles, that's a lot of eggs, and most of the crocodiles here have actually been hatched on site. The really interesting thing about crocodiles' eggs is that you can actually determine what sex a crocodile is at birth from the temperature that you incubate the egg at. Below 30 degrees, the hatchlings will likely all be females, but above 33 degrees, they're most likely to be males. This essentially allows Croc Park to decide what sex crocodiles they want, and this is good because the big males are really aggressive and territorial, so they can't have too many of these guys. I think some of the largest males were pushing about 4 meters here. As well as crocodiles, they also had reticulated pythons, which are actually the longest snake in the world, which can get over 20 feet long. And they also had the green anaconda, which is actually the heaviest snake in the world. Both these guys are constrictors and therefore use their muscles on their body to crush their prey. Trust me, I wouldn't want a hug from one of these snakes. Now, I've seen a lot of videos on crocodile in my life. They're one of my favourite animals, but I've never really seen them move that much. So when we saw these amazing animals actually getting fed, it shocked me to how fast they can actually go. These massive guys can swim up to 35 kilometers an hour. That's 22 miles an hour. The maximum Michael Phelps has ever got to is 6 miles an hour. That's bonkers. And what was even better is they have a glass dome that you can go in so your head's on the height of the crocodiles whilst they're getting fed. There's some absolutely crazy footage from this, and believe it or not, there's a crocodile lying on top of the glass dome. This really lets you appreciate how massive and rugged they are. Just look at these two fight over a chicken thigh. Their scales actually have these things called osteoderms on their back, which contain bone. Remember, if you come here though, this section is really hot. It's like a greenhouse, and you're already in the Sahara Desert, so it's really hot in here, so you can't stay in there for too long. In the wild, these crocodiles are actually ambush predators, and they'll eat a load of things. Stuff like gazelles, zebra, wildebeest. They even have a go at baby elephants. But these guys were eating chicken thighs in Croc Park, which was really cool to watch because they properly went for it and had fights. Overall, in my opinion, I would say Croc Park is a solid 7.5 out of 10, and I would definitely recommend it if you were going to Agadir.